The foreground and middle distance in this panorama shows a geologic scene dominated by eroded remnants of a finely layered ancient sandstone deposit. NASA's Curiosity rover has traveled through the terrains here that are dominated by water-lane sedimentary rocks, some of which have contained minerals like clays that attest to the ancient presence of water. However, the rover also crossed into very different geology while climbing onto the Norcloft Plateau in the area. The sandstone here appears to be dominated by thick layers of wind-blown sand, suggesting that these deposits formed in a drier epoch. These rocks resemble the types of rocks that a dune field like Bagnall Dunes would form if buried. A portion of the rim of Gale Crater fills the horizon in the center of the image, with Upper Mount Sharp on the horizon at right. Perseverance Mars rover used its navigation cameras to capture these multiple dust devils swirling across Jezero Crater. Dust devils are whirlwinds that often occur when the sun hits the surface of Mars or some areas on Earth. The warmed surface hits the layer of atmosphere closest to it, and the warm air rises in whirling motion, stirring dust up the surface like a miniature tornado. This outcrop is located on the Murray Ridge portion of the rim of Endeavour Crater and was imaged to help researchers choose a target for contact investigation. This is Olympus Mons, the largest known volcano in the solar system. It is 27 kilometers high, over 600 kilometers at the base, and surrounded by a well-defined scarp that is up to 6 kilometers high. Lava flows drape over the scarp in places, and much of the plains surrounding the volcano are covered by the ridged and grooved aureole of Olympus Mons. The origin of the aureole is controversial, but may be related to gravity sliding off the flanks of ancestral volcano. The summit caldera that is the central depression, is about 3 kilometers deep and 25 kilometers across. It probably formed from recurrent collapse following drainage of magma resulting from flank eruptions. This panorama looks west toward the rim of Jezero Crater. The rover's Mastcam-Z instrument captured the images when Perseverance was about halfway through a boulder field that was 0.6 miles wide. This view from the mast camera in Curiosity rover shows an area where a lower and older geological unit of mudstone, the pale zone in the center of the image, lies in contact with an overlying geological unit of sandstone. Just before Curiosity reached the area, the rover's laser-firing chemistry and camera instrument examined a rock found to be rich in silica, a mineral-forming chemical. These drifting clouds are likely water ice clouds about 19 miles above the surface. They are noctilucent clouds, meaning they are so high that they are still illuminated by the sun even when it's night at Mars's surface. Scientists can watch when light leaves the clouds and use this information to infer their altitude. The image here shows detailed texture in a ridge that stands higher than surrounding rock. The rock is located inside Gale Crater, and the ridge resulted from a crack or vein in the surrounding rock becoming filled with material that was subsequently more resistant to erosion than the material of the surrounding rock. Researchers are investigating the textures and composition of ridges and the surrounding rock, which is a pebbly sandstone conglomerate. Reddish dust can be seen coating the surfaces, and the underlying rocks are gray, varying from nearly white to nearly black. The host rock in which the crack or vein formed is obscured in this image by the coating of dust and a thin layer of the rock's own debris such as loose pebbles and sand. This is Perseverance rover looking back at its wheel tracks on Mars. A key objective for Perseverance's mission on Mars is astrobiology, including the search for signs of ancient microbial life. The rover will characterize the planet's geology and past climate, pave the way for human exploration of the red planet, and be the first mission to collect and cache Martian rocks and dust. The crater seen here is called Yankee Clipper and is about 33 feet in diameter. This southern autumn image captures a view of frosty dunes on Mars. The sunlight is shining on the dunes from the upper right, and the low sun angle creates large shadows from these dunes, making for a dramatic picture. Frost is visible in the shadows of the dunes that appear as lighter or bluer swirls in each shadow and along the illuminated section of the dunes. In the center right of the image, 5 dark thin dust devil tracks are snaking their way along parallel to the dune ridge. This panorama was taken from home plate plateau inside Gusev Crater and shows the western edge of the plateau in the foreground, lighter in tone than the more distant parts of the scene. A rock-dotted hill in the middle distance across the left third of the image is a ridge about 100 feet from the edge of home plate and about the same distance across. A bump on the horizon above the left edge of the ridge is Grissom Hill about 5 miles away. At right, the highest point of the horizon is Husband Hill to the north and about half a mile away.